the debt ceiling limit. I mean, that's really the leverage left for Democrats. You have the president, what he calls one big beautiful bill, which is now parroted by Republicans. They've got it all of this. This framework actually calls for a raising of the debt ceiling. My question is, the Democrats don't have the votes to stop it. Is there any leverage if this thing passes? What do Democrats do?
You know, Paul, the Republicans don't have the votes to pass what you just described, a big, beautiful bill and a debt limit increase. They don't have the votes for that, period. Not in the House. It does not exist. That is the leverage point. They have to negotiate with us. The other opportunity, as you know, is that we're in the middle of a continuing resolution in our government funding. That funding expires September 30th, and then there will have to be a bipartisan negotiation at that time as well. So I think that there's plenty of points of leverage. We've said all along that we are eager to work with our colleagues across the aisle to lower costs for hardworking American families. They have been the one who've chosen to go it alone. Donald Trump and House Republicans have chosen to go it alone. And it's families, it's farmers, it's small business owners here in the 14th who suffered as a result.
We're seeing cuts made to education, healthcare. You referenced some of that, federal cuts, but they come and hit us at the state level. I wanted to get your reaction to that, but at the same time, what I don't understand is it is Congress that controls the purse strings. As somebody who teaches constitutional law, the president doesn't have the power to do the cutting he's doing. Congress isn't saying a word about it. So even for Americans who agree with the president, they may agree with him, but why is Congress seceding this power to the executive branch? Because once you give it up, tough to get it back.
You know, Paul, I've been so disgusted by Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune. You know, the founders, our great founders of this country, never envisioned that the Speaker and the Majority Leader would want the president to be a king, that they would want that to happen. And so they have completely yielded to Donald Trump. Listen, the legislative branch does have tools for an executive who is overreached. Those tools include things like oversight and the ability to issue subpoenas. Those tools include things like impeachment. Those tools include procedural things like discharge petitions that people in the minority party, like House Democrats are right now, can use to force a floor vote. But the Speaker and the Majority Leader have taken those tools off the table in complete deference to Donald Trump. And that is how we find ourselves in the middle of this constitutional crisis. We see Donald Trump openly defying the Supreme Court, and it's a big problem. We have separation of powers, 3 co-equal branches of government, but in order for it to work, the legislative branch has to be operating at full strength. And right now we are being prevented from doing so because of this complete and total yielding that we see from Speaker Mike Johnson.
Well, let me give you the way this plays out. You were a co-sponsor of the Social Security Fairness Act signed by President Biden. The goal is increasing retirement benefits. But here's the thing. One way for Republicans who say they won't touch Social Security to touch Social Security is to close buildings, shut down phone systems, get rid of staff. So your bill that you co-sponsored maybe remains the law, but what good is money when there's nobody to do anything with it to serve people? Are you hearing about that in your district?
People are so deeply concerned. We have a Social Security field office here in Joliet. People are worried about this tremendous community resource being taken away from us. They're hearing in the news that the Social Security Administration is no longer going to be responsive to constituent phone calls. You know, they're seeing these announcements from Donald Trump and his administration that they're not going to be putting out simple press releases, that people who don't even have Twitter accounts are going to have to figure out how to navigate this social media platform to get an update on what's going on with their earned benefits, their Social Security. It is outrageous, Paul, how they are coming for our economic security and retirement security in this country. And that's what I was saying earlier. The American people understand when they're being lied to. And I believe that Donald Trump got elected because he promised people he'd work on lowering costs. Well, where's that? He promised people he wouldn't touch Social Security and Medicare. Well, what's happening? We see the cuts right before our eyes.
I agree. With just a minute left, you introduced a bicameral resolution to make April 11 to 17 Black Maternal Health Week. Policies addressing Black maternal health, obviously, to deal with related issues. Here's the thing. You see DEI being cut everywhere in every possible way. What hope does that kind of bill have when DEI is being pulled out of the government everywhere?
What we know is America's Black maternal health crisis, our maternal health crisis in general, is getting worse as a result of the pandemic, the Dobbs decision, and what will be truly devastating is these Medicaid cuts. And so moms are continuing to die in all zip codes across our country. Our maternal death rates are getting worse, not better. And this resolution was introduced to just put some focus on what's happening to American families.
Very quickly, my last question. We're all waiting to hear what Senator Durbin's going to say, whether he'll seek another term. If he chooses not to and opts to retire, are you looking at that seat?
I love Senator Durbin. He has done such a tremendous job for us here in Illinois, and I understand he'll be making an announcement soon, and I'm really eager to hear what he has to say.
That wasn't a no, fair?
Come on, Paul. I'm going to be listening. I know you will be too.
We're going to be listening. Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, 14th District, thank you for your time. Have a good Sunday. We'll talk to you again soon on the other side of Durbin's announcement. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take our